All right, everyone. Today I have with us Michael John Parker. You may recognize him from some of his roles on Dhar Mann. Maybe he's got a needle in his arm. Maybe he's on the side of the road begging for food. You just don't know where you're going to find Mike. So, hi, Mike.
Hello, Katherine. How are you?
I'm good. You know, when we ran into each other a couple weeks ago at the studio, when you were dressed all sharp in this great suit and button-up shirt and a little bow tie and your glasses, I really almost didn't recognize you. And it took me a minute to remember, oh, this is the junkie from the Dhar's first feature film.
Yeah, a junkie who, thank you for having me, by the way, but a junkie who probably sold enough or earned enough to buy a suit for an insurance appointment that day.
There you go. That's great. So now we can recognize you. You got the mustache is quite. So you're a illustrious character actor. When did you start acting?
Oh, probably when I was about 4 years old in the bathtub, and family came in and saw me singing jingles way back in a Jersey point in time. I actually worked some years ago, I would say early 90s, late 80s, early 90s on low-level stuff, and I ended up having the fortunate experience of being Michael Keaton's photo double and stand-in, and worked a few other projects and ended up going back to school to pursue a school district career, which was very successful for about 22 years. And having retired from that a little bit earlier, moving back into it and really seeing how much has changed, but how much has really opened up in the field as well.
Yes. So you were acting, then you took a break to do the school stuff, and now you're back at it. So
yes.
Kind of on and off, it sounds like on and off maybe for 30 some years.
Yeah, probably between 25 and 30, yeah, because I went back to school and then I worked several positions in the school district, retiring out as an administrator.
Okay, so are you now retired from the school stuff and just doing acting full time?
I am, although my heart is still in possibly renewing my adult credential and going back and teaching English second language and citizenship for adult school.
Okay.
On the side.
Interesting. Well, it's always good to have a side hustle, right?
Absolutely.
As actors, you don't know when the next job is coming, so you always have to have something to fall back on.
I did also just keep my foot in the door at an out-of-town job. I work inpatient psychiatry. I'm a mental health worker, and I have been there for quite a while, seeing a lot of changes through the decades over there also. So I work in psych and also looking at going back to school, but my passion is character acting.
Well, and I'm sure you've got a lot of interesting tips, character study from working in a psych ward for your characters that you've got some things you've picked up on for trademark things, you know, body language, all that kind of fun stuff that really adds to your acting.
Just a few things over the years in both English and Spanish, but yeah, just a few over the decades.
So are you fluent in Spanish?
I'm not fluent, but I have I have a very authentic accent. Probably more like Puerto Rican, Cuban folks, because that's where I learned from back east.
Okay.
And I have a conversational level of fluency, yes.
So what movie was it that you were Michael Keaton's photo double?
I was in something called Pacific Heights, which started in Bay Area, and then we came down to LA. And the very interesting thing, I must say, Michael's a great person. It was John Schlesinger. Everybody, couldn't have been better. It was a 3 or 4 month gig. But I must say, as I look at television now, or film work, I realized I met Dakota Johnson, but she doesn't remember. She was only probably about 3 or 4 months old, and Melanie Griffith was feeding her. at that time. And now that I look at her and she's, 33 or something, I'm like, wow, some time goes by.
Wow. What has been your favorite acting job of your career?
Well, it's not a huge wide span of a career. I did a bartender for a couple of days on General Hospital, and I've been a bartender in real life. So I try to go out for things that I've worked at. I was a surgical technician in the operating room. I'm waiting to go play that surgeon or OR nurse or something. Mm-hmm. I think probably a couple years ago, I did, when Scandal was still on, I played a White House reporter in the press room at the White House. And the sets were just so authentic and beautiful and realistic.
Wow.
With all the Supreme Court judges and whatnot at that time. And, I was a broadcast journalism major, but went into education. So I worked at Channel 9 News for a while at the assignment desk and whatnot, and playing, I think, a reporter in the real field and kind of knowing about it and whatnot was really exciting.
Yeah. So how did you get involved with the Dhar Mann Productions about a year and a half ago?
Shout out to Actors Access. Auditioned. I will get calls from them sometimes or emails. Generally auditioning through Actors Access, my reel, and then shooting a quick eco tape and putting that in. And so it's been a good experience ever since.
Okay, so was it about September of 2021 that you started working there?
I believe it was probably September, October of that year. Yes, it was before the Thanksgiving episode
right.
That I think was a regular feature.
Yeah. Okay, and that was your first job with Dhar Mann? That
was, yes.
And how many have you done since?
Since then, I went to the premiere, of course, that everyone was invited to. It was really beautiful. And nobody goes, "You were who?" Even Dhar said, I said, "Dhar, was you kind of ugly, skanky drug addict there?" And, who? What? There was a picture of him. Oh, that was not you.
Hey, you got the stuff?
Excuse me?
Oh, never mind.
Oh, wait!
What?
Check it to make sure it's not watered down.
Man, it's not even him. It's some little girl.
You clean up nice.
Yeah, that was a really beautiful affair that they had. Since then, I have played a gardener.
I'm telling you, it's Dylan. That actor you're always watching. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'll ask him if I can get a photo.
Gardener, janitorial guy outside a mall, janitor also. Mm-hmm. I have played, more recently, I've played a couple of different homeless roles. Homeless people who are...
very dirty.
Very dirty. And very dirty, and what did I want to call it? Perhaps a little bit mentally challenged. My heart goes out to that also,
Yeah, yes, definitely.
I'm looking for something in here that was a homeless that people never really believe about.
So you've had different experiences over the years on different sets. What has your experience been like when you've worked on the Dhar Mann sets? With the people, the crew, the other actors, any of it, the environment?
It really has been, and I'm speaking from the heart here, maybe it's not for everybody. It's certainly for me and for a whole lot of people. I think it's casual, yet professional, kind. In Espanol, people would say muy amable, very friendly and sweet and humble. Not demanding, but yet there's a certain level, I think, of easy in, easy work, easy out. And by easy work, I mean easy to work with. I try wherever I go to get invited back, so to speak, even if it's a social event or a speaking event or I do a lot of charity or giving back kind of stuff. And I like to be invited back. Unless it's something I don't want to go back to, then I'll make a scene. But no, it's always been like they've adjusted call times when they know they don't need you to be waiting there all day on a certain day.
That's something you don't get on a lot of other sets. A lot of other sets, they'll call you at the butt crack of dawn, and they don't care if you're sitting there waiting for 12 hours before they need you. So that's one of the nice things about that is you're not sitting around bored for hours and hours and hours. They really keep a nice workflow and they stay on track, and it's not a lot of twiddling your thumbs. You're just, like you said, it's in and it's out. It's
right. And what I really like too is that they work with you. There's not a high demand, but it's like, please know your scripts before you come in. They work with you, and I see it as kind of a two-way street, give and take. They work with you, you work with them. It's for me, it has been a very much win-win situation.
So by work with you, meaning your level of talent, skills, wherever you're at, is that what you mean by they work with you?
Yes, I think, they'll make suggestions. The directors and crew people will make suggestions, and I think it's open that you can make suggestions also for something you might feel that might be worth it with the character. And with that Thanksgiving episode, we were just messing around in the apartment during downtime, and not a beauty shot, but I lifted the dirty wife beater kind of thing and was just rubbing on my stomach.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was a real beauty shot, money shot. And I think it was Ruben that said, well, that looks good. Keep doing that. Oh, yeah, really? Okay.
You make a good point, because I also have noticed that as well. Is it's not like a lot of sets I've been on where nobody can make suggestions and the director is like the total dictator and don't even turn your head this way without it being in the script or the.
Yes.
So I think that's part of the ease of working there, is that there's a freedom to it and the ability to really collaborate. And there's not, like, I've been on a few sets, probably more than I'd like to say, where you're kind of walking on light bulbs. Like, you don't want them to break and crush under you and sit, because there's this like fear of, if I get it wrong, the director's going to start yelling.
Right.
And even if you mess up several times on the Dhar Mann sets, you don't have somebody yelling and screaming at you like I've had on sets, like, what is your problem? Why can't you get it right? What are you doing? You're wasting time.
It has been for me a very amicable situation. Met really cool people there, cast, crew, all different people. That one of the security people in the yard when I rolled up on a motorcycle recently with one of my former students from high school. So it was great to see Janet. Yeah, we recognized each other. I pulled the helmet off and it was interesting. But it's very, I would say the main number one top-notch thing that would keep me going back are the snacks.
The snacks. What?
The snacks, baby. Pile it on. No, if they're I just find, like, I'm rehearsing for a play right now and I had to bring lines with me. I had time, sit on the side, do all this casual, nice, very thankful. And I've never had an issue. I'm not paid to say that, nothing. This is me in my place saying, I have never had an issue there.
Cool. And I feel like that's the general consensus for most everybody who
I
has
would hope so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty chill.
Yes, if it didn't work for me, I think I would. Well, I do work elsewhere. I think most of us do, but I think I would not be so welcomed or welcoming in going back.
Yeah, and I thought that's interesting because people probably don't know that you commute from a long ways away. That you are living up, is it in the Bay Area or Northern California somewhere?
Yeah, give away all my secrets here. I'm speaking here, right here from my place in LA, but I do work Bay Area and in LA.
Right. And the only reason I brought it up because if it was like a really terrible experience, you wouldn't be willing to like fly in to do a couple days and you know what I'm saying? If it was
right. And you know, gracias a Dios, we say, I don't want to thank the pandemic, the EcoCast situation for, you know, playing into casting directors' hands and whatnot with taping and, you know, show me 6 through 20 and the others are gone. And, you know, how we know things have changed. But I have read for or shot some Dhar Mann audition stuff being out of town, and then, you know, was offered work to portray that person or do that, you know, here in LA. So I'm back and forth several times a month, actually. So I mean, people go, oh, that drive. Well, I give Southwest a lot of money, and it's a 49-minute flight, you know, door to door. So, or plane door to plane door. It's a 49-minute flight. So I'm kind of used to it by now. It's not bad.
What is something that is interesting about you that people don't know about you?
I don't know, because I don't find myself that interesting.
Well, you told me
I'm glad
that you were a stand-up comedian.
Oh, well, I've done a little stand-up. And you know what? It's hard, folks, as those of you know. Okay, this is like, okay, I'm in my 60s, well in there. But I feel like entertaining, standing, doing stand-up, something, karaoke, whatever, fun things like that, I can much easier work the crowd that's a lot younger than me, if that makes any sense. Okay. I feel like if I'm going to do a gig or have somebody, whatever, if I'm going to have my buddies, my friends, people I know, whatever, coworkers, whatever, my age, come and hang out, I got to do like that Jerry Seinfeld 4:30 senior citizen special. Other than like at night with maybe like a beer and a shot and like a 10 o'clock show or something, you know, that's kind of weird, but it's kind of always been like that for me.
What is your favorite thing in the world to do?
When it's nice, probably I started motorcycle riding again, so jump on my bike, ride out somewhere, maybe towards beach area, San Pedro, Venice, something, get a good coffee and a good meal and hang out. Gosh, but I don't know, man. Music, bicycle riding, a lot of stuff. Love all kinds of different music. I always wish I could be in a band, and that wasn't going to happen. But I think, you know, things change later. So, you know, I would say the number one thing at this point in my life would be, you know, performing, working as a quick character guy with a crazy face in the crowd, funny things. It is not, and this is, maybe I'm not alone here, but when I go to work, it is not about me. What do you need to make your project better? I'm past that being a star thing. That's not me. And was never looking for that. What do you need? Do you need somebody I like to do a lot of charity, give back, volunteer things. I think we should all be going in that direction, because we have so much. Our lives are blessed for the most part. But what, yeah, it's not about me. I'd like to be welcomed back, but what do you need for your production that will make, oh, can I fall here? Yeah. Can you ride a bike? Can you take your shirt off? Yeah, it ain't pretty. I can do that, It's just, well, like that day that we worked, okay, you can dirty me up and make me somebody crawling in the gutter, or I can put the suit on, shave the mustache, and be that doctor, psychiatrist, surgeon, people like that, but yeah, I think that's what I like doing the most at this time. Yeah.
What would be like a dream role for you? A role that you haven't had the opportunity to play, but you would love to?
Maybe the doctor, maybe the suited doctor in the office. Played cops, played ill people. Yeah, I think probably the doctor, either surgeon or psychiatry. Those are the two areas that I worked in healthcare. And being on that serious side, because I get kind of non-serious things, and I think I would like that. I'm not a lead major love interest dude. I played a drummer, and I always wanted to be a musician, but they were like, can you give me a 3-count, a 4-count? I'm like, what does that mean? But I looked the part, so I just banged on the thing all night long,
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah, but I think probably playing that serious doctor, or a judge in a courtroom. I like that. Or the the buttoning the jacket and addressing the jury kind of thing, because I can be I'm really light, but I can be that really intense, not over the top, but intense, strict. I was a school disciplinarian with the district for a while, and I did the gang fight suspensions, weapons, school police issues. And
what is it that I haven't asked you that you thought I should have?
Am I grateful for, or fears? People don't like that fears thing.
Yeah. So do you want me to ask you what you're most afraid of, or what you're most grateful for, or why don't you just answer both?
You want to end on a high note?
Well, I have one last question after this, so that might be the high note.
So the low would be I think as well, the high would be literally being grateful for so much. I've been extremely lucky that whatever I've done through life, different career paths, many different things, I've been interested in, and I've held my interest for that time. Did a lot of different jobs in the school district and things. I've held my interest, and I was lucky that, put him up to do graduation and put, that kind of stuff. Being recognized for good things like that, I hope, and being helped out in other areas where I need it. Extremely grateful for that. I'm extremely grateful for the things that I have. Being able to live in 2 places, having work and things like that. Having said that, my fear, I think, is having worked a number of years and times in healthcare situations. I think as one starts moving on a little bit further, realizing you've lost people along the way, or lost people in your family or friends, good people, that starts to become an issue. Like I wouldn't want to be deemed or whatever it is, downed with something, what do I want to say, untreatable.
You would want to be deemed untreatable, like if you had some condition?
Yes. I'm so grateful for good health and good energy and good, just good blessings in. I feel like at this point, I struggled a lot with working and school and, trying to pay the rent and stuff. And it's just me. It is no wife and kids and stuff here, but it's like, I'm thankful for having made it now. And I feel like I'm living my best life at this point. you know.
Amazing. Before I ask you the final question, you said something early on and it got me curious what you meant by it. So this may or may not end up in the interview, but I want to know.
Sure.
When you talked about how you enjoyed working at Dhar Mann Studios, but then you said it's not for everybody. I was curious what you meant by that.
Personally, I am at a very comfortable time in my life where I'm able to volunteer, give back a lot. I'm trying to get involved with mayor's office with kind of rehousing folks who are mentally challenged and whatnot. If I were trying to pay the rent or a house payment or something like that, buy a new car or whatnot, I could not rely on that for my sole income.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know who does. Like, if it didn't work for me, I would walk away. I'd shake hands, say, hey, thanks a lot for the opportunity. I'm walking away, you know.
Yeah.
There's no binding contract thing that I'm there under.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not with NBC Universal or Warner or anything. You know, it's a
right.
really, you know, but
it's a per project kind of gig, so it's
yeah, exactly. And I think and I think it's like an easy given. If you're pretty chill, you're kind of asked to work again repeatedly. I think being a young adult, especially when I see a lot of the great kids in school and everything, I think, wow, I wish that was around when I was that age. Or as something to work on the side, people that might have a free, good, flexible schedule. I think it's amazing. I really do. It's certainly better than minimum wage, and I've certainly been, like you said, treated worse on other sets. And you know, I was also a PA and a second, and did crew work and stuff like that, doubled in props and things. So yeah, I've seen the other side of it. But if it's not for you, you know, hey, I don't have any reason to apologize, and maybe we'll work together again. And yeah.
Cool. Final question is, if you had one last message you wanted to leave with the fans, or any last wisdom you wanted to give people from what you've learned in your life, what would you say?
The positive should flush out the negative. Let's be thankful for what we have. And I've worked a lot in race relations and things with schools and in the communities. We all have much more in common than what divides us, and we really should sit down and celebrate the diversity of unity of what we all have in common. I mean, look at the field of performing.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
That's the one, I feel like performing art, that's the one place where every culture, every creed, we come together, all equals, as opposed to like any other line of business.
Right.
Yeah.
Religion, music, sports, there's so many things that are unifying, and performing arts, I think, is at the top of the stack there. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Is there anything else that you wanted to say?
I look forward to working with a lot of people again.
Yes.
And if we run out of snacks, I'll run by Trader Joe's and bring aisle 4. I got a lot of students that work there.
That sounds good. Well, thank you for reaching out to me and wanting to put in a few words, and I think that people are going to appreciate this interview.
No problem. Thank you so much for having me. Stay well and be well, everyone.
Oh, bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks.